In 1815-20s, 6 years after the French Revolution, a group of convicts battles a raging storm to haul a ship into the docks of Toulon. Among them is prisoner 24,601, Jean Valjean, serving a 19-year sentence for stealing a loaf of bread. Overseeing them is the relentless Inspector Javert, a man who believes in the absolute letter of the law. As the convicts sing of their despair, Javert singles out Valjean to retrieve a fallen flag from beneath the ship's rigging. Valjean, with immense effort, succeeds, displaying a strength that catches Javert's eye.
Begun. You know what that means. Your time is up and your parole.
Valjean believes it means he is free, but Javert clarifies his reality.
This badge of shame will show it till you die. It warns you're a dangerous man.
Valjean protests, explaining he only stole to feed his starving sister's child. Javert is unmoved, detailing that the extra years were for attempting to escape.
My name is Jean Valjean.
And I'm Javert.
Released into a harsh world, Valjean finds that his yellow parole paper makes him an outcast. He is denied work and shelter, his past a permanent stain that society will not ignore. Driven to despair, he sleeps in the cold until a kind bishop invites him into his home. The bishop treats him with dignity, offering him food, wine, and a warm bed. Despite this kindness, Valjean's bitterness consumes him. In the middle of the night, he steals the bishop's silver and flees. He is quickly captured by constables and dragged back to face the bishop. To Valjean's astonishment, the bishop confirms to the police that the silver was a gift.
You forgot.
I gave these also. Surely something slipped your mind. Would you leave the best behind?
Once the police are gone, the bishop gives Valjean the silver candlesticks, urging him to use this precious metal to become an honest man. This act of profound mercy shatters Valjean's world. Alone in a chapel, he confronts his own soul. He questions why he allowed this man to touch his soul and teach him love, treating him like a brother. Torn between his old life of hate and this new path of redemption, he feels his shame like a knife. He finally resolves to leave his past behind, tearing up his parole papers. Jean Valjean is no more. Another story must begin. 8 years later, in 1823, we find ourselves in the town of Montreal. A group of poor workers sings of their daily struggle, where another day older is all they have to show for their lives. In a factory owned by the now respected Mayor Madeleine, who is Valjean under a new identity, women toil at their sewing machines. Among them is Fantine. The other women are jealous and gossip about her. One of the women snatches a letter from Fantine's hands, revealing that Fantine has a secret child she sends money to. The discovery of her illegitimate child causes an uproar. The foreman, whom Fantine had previously rejected, sees his chance for revenge. The women demand her dismissal, and the foreman, eager to assert his power, fires her on the spot. Fantine pleads with Mayor Madeleine, but he is distracted by the arrival of a new police inspector, Javert. Javert doesn't recognize the mayor at first, but notes that his face is one he would not forget. Suddenly, a man is trapped under a heavy cart. No one is strong enough to lift it. Valjean, remembering Javert's stare, hesitates, but his conscience wins, and he uses his incredible strength to lift the cart, saving the man. Javert is stunned. He remembers only one man with such power, prisoner 24,601. Meanwhile, Fantine is forced to sell her locket, then her beautiful hair, to pay the greedy teeth Mardias for her daughter's care. Her descent continues, as she sells her teeth in a grotesque back alley transaction. Ultimately, she is forced into prostitution, joining the other lovely ladies on the docks, her heart filled with hate for the men who buy her. Broken and sick, she sings of her shattered past, of a time when hope was high and life worth living. She remembers a summer love that left her with a child, a dream that was torn apart by the harsh realities of the world. Fantine is arrested after a conflict with an abusive client, but Javert is ready to throw her in jail without question. Mayor Madeleine arrives and intervenes, recognizing Fantine and realizing his part in her downfall. He orders Javert to release her and promises to care for her and bring her child, Cosette, to her. Later, Javert comes to Madeleine, confessing that he wrongly accused him. The real Jean Valjean, he says, has been captured. This news throws Valjean into a moral crisis. He can remain silent and secure his new life, but an innocent man will be condemned. His conscience, forged by the bishop's mercy, won't let him sacrifice another. He wrestles with his identity in a powerful soliloquy. He rushes to the court and dramatically reveals his true self, shouting his prison number to the stunned courtroom. Valjean returns to the hospital to find Fantine delirious, imagining her daughter Cosette is with her. He promises her that Cosette will be cared for, and with that final comfort, Fantine passes away. Javert arrives to arrest him. Valjean pleads for 3 days to fetch Cosette, but Javert refuses. The two men confront each other, their opposing worldviews clashing. Valjean overpowers Javert and escapes. Meanwhile, young Cosette lives a miserable life as a servant for the cruel Thénardiers, dreaming of a castle on a cloud. Madame Thénardier bullies her mercilessly, sending her out alone into the dark woods to fetch water from the well. At the Tienche Thénardier's rowdy inn, Tienche Thénardier prides himself on being the master of the house, cheating his customers with glee. In the woods, a terrified Cosette is found by Valjean, who helps her carry the heavy bucket. Valjean arrives at the inn and confronts the Tiencheveas, stating his intention to take Cosette away. After a greedy negotiation where they feign affection for the child, Valjean pays them 1,500 francs for her freedom. He gives Cosette a new doll and promises to be a father to her, finally escaping the inn just as Javert arrives to investigate. Valjean and Cosette travel towards Paris, their hearts full of a new sudden hope, but Javert's pursuit is relentless. Spotted at a city gate, they are forced to flee, with Javert and his men in hot pursuit. Valjean finds sanctuary by climbing the wall of a convent, pulling Cosette up after him. He is recognized by the groundskeeper, Fauchelevent, the very man he saved from under the cart. From a rooftop overlooking Paris, Javert vows to the stars that he will never rest until Valjean is behind bars once more. 9 years later, in 1832, Paris is a powder keg of poverty and unrest. The street urchin Gavroche leads the beggars of the city. A group of idealistic students, led by Enjolras, plots a revolution, seeing the impending death of the beloved General Lamarck as their signal to rise. One of the students, Marius, is distracted from politics when he sees a beautiful young woman, the now-grown Cosette, and is instantly smitten. Marius fails to notice that his friend, the streetwise Éponine, is secretly in love with him. Thénardier and his gang attempt to rob Valjean and Cosette, but the plot is foiled by Éponine, who screams to warn Marius and alert the police. Javert arrives to break up the brawl. Thénardier tries to pin the blame on Valjean, who has already fled with Cosette. Javert, hearing the description of the man, realizes his old quarry, Jean Valjean, has resurfaced. Marius, obsessed, begs Éponine to find Cosette for him, blind to the pain it causes her. At their secret meeting spot, the students discuss the coming revolution. Marius can only think of the mysterious girl he met. Enjolras rebukes him, arguing their personal lives don't count when a larger goal is at stake. With the general's death, the time for revolution is now. They will use his funeral to ignite the flame. In the garden, Cosette thinks about the handsome stranger, feeling her life has begun at last, though it is filled with so many unknowns. Éponine leads Marius to Cosette's house, her heart breaking as she watches the two lovers meet. Marius and Cosette confess their instant love for each other in a song, unaware of Éponine watching from the shadows. Thénardier's gang arrives to rob the house, but Éponine screams to thwart them, which also alerts Valjean that he is being found. Believing Javert is closing in, Valjean tells a heartbroken Cosette they must flee to England immediately. Alone in the rain, Éponine sings of her unrequited love, a world of happiness she has never known. The eve of the revolution arrives. Valjean prepares to flee. Marius and Cosette despair at their separation. Éponine grieves her lost love, and the students march towards their destiny. Javert plans to crush the rebellion, while the Thénardiers look forward to profiting from the chaos. The people march behind General Lamarck's funeral procession, singing a song of angry men, a promise that a new life will start when tomorrow comes. A peaceful protest erupts into violence as soldiers fire on the crowd. The students retreat and begin to build their barricade. Javert, disguised as a rebel, volunteers to spy on the army's plans, but his cover is blown by the quick-witted Gavroche, who recognizes him as an inspector. The students capture Javert, with Enjolras declaring that the people will decide his fate. The army attacks, but the students, with Marius' quick thinking, threaten to blow up the barricade, forcing a temporary retreat. Éponine, disguised as a boy, has followed Marius to the barricade. She takes a bullet meant for him. She dies in his arms, confessing her love and giving him Cosette's farewell letter. Marius sends Gavroche to deliver a farewell letter of his own to Cosette. The letter is intercepted by Valjean. Realizing Cosette's love is at the barricade, Valjean puts aside his own fears and goes there himself, determined to protect the young man. Valjean's sharpshooting skills earn him the student's trust. As a reward, Enjolras gives him the chance to execute the spy, Javert. Instead of taking revenge, Valjean cuts Javert's bonds and fires his pistol into the air, allowing him to escape. He tells Javert his address, certain their paths will cross again. As night falls and the students rest, Valjean prays over the sleeping Marius, asking God to bring him home safely, even if it costs his own life. At dawn, the students discover they are the last barricade standing. The people of Paris have not risen. Low on ammunition, Gavroche bravely scrambles over the barricades to collect bullets from the dead soldiers, but he is shot and killed. The army launches its final, overwhelming assault. The students fight bravely but are all killed, including their leader, Enjolras. Valjean finds a gravely wounded Marius, and carrying him on his back, escapes into the sewers of Paris. In the darkness of the sewer, he encounters Thénardier, who robs the unconscious Marius of his ring before showing Valjean the way out. Valjean emerges from the sewer, only to be cornered by Javert. He pleads for 1 hour to take the dying boy to a doctor. Javert, his world turned upside down by Valjean's act of mercy at the barricade, allows him to go. Unable to reconcile Valjean's compassion with his black and white view of justice, Javert's spirit is broken. He throws himself into the Seine, ending his tormented life. Marius recovers, but is haunted by the loss of his friends. In the empty cafe, he mourns them, questioning the cost of their sacrifice. Cosette comforts him, and their love story resumes. They plan their wedding. Before the wedding, Valjean confesses his criminal past to Marius, explaining that he must leave to protect Cosette from his shadow. Marius reluctantly agrees, promising to keep the secret from Cosette. At the wedding feast, the Th. Thénardiers appear, attempting to blackmail Marius. Th. Thénardier claims Valjean is a murderer, revealing he saw him in the sewers with a corpse. As proof, he produces the ring he stole. Marius recognizes it as his own. In a flash, Marius understands everything. It was Valjean who saved his life. He and Cosette rush to the convent, where Valjean is now old, alone, and preparing to die. They arrive just in time. The spirit of Fantine appears to Valjean, ready to welcome him. Marius thanks Valjean for saving his life, and Cosette learns the truth of her father's saintly nature. Valjean gives Cosette his final confession, the story of his life, before dying peacefully, surrounded by the love he fought so hard to protect. As his spirit joins Fantine and the bishop, he hears the truth that was once spoken. In a final, epic vision, the spirits of all who died at the barricade appear, singing of a new world beyond, where the sun will rise and freedom will reign.